Inside the stories that affect you. This is Inside KELOLAND.
Good evening and thanks for having us in. Tonight on Inside KELOLAND, we're talking with the ACLU about how it wants to elevate the issue of criminal justice in this November's election. Then, as you prepare for the 4th of July week, we are discussing mosquito safety, fireworks safety, and sales, and the Independence Day festivities in Sioux Falls. Well, with the primary election now behind us, the election campaign for South Dakota's governor, attorney general, U.S. House seat, and a host of other positions is about to heat up. The American Civil Liberties Union of South Dakota is launching a campaign to elevate the issues, particularly criminal justice reform, to both candidates and voters ahead of the November election. They're calling it the Smart Justice, and I'm joined with ACLU South Dakota Executive Director Heather Smith. Thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're talking criminal justice system, and then it focuses on the less harsh sentences. So what does that look like, and how does that benefit South Dakotans?
We're calling it a Smart Justice campaign because really what we're asking people to do is to think differently about incarceration. So if we think about what the root causes of crime are, it's mental health and addictions. And if we think about it as a holistic problem, then you can solve it by giving some more preventative services rather than on the tail end of it in locking people up in jail or prison.
Yeah, and the addictions are particularly troubling, and it seems like that's something law enforcement talks about a lot. So that's a big focus then, preventative measures to maybe keep some of those numbers down?
Yeah, we have a great drug court in Minnehaha County, and it's a service that's available and used really well, so we'd like to see a little bit more of that.
And then looking at the benefits for South Dakotans, could this not only benefit people who are in the system, but could it benefit other taxpayers in the state too?
Yeah, it's really expensive to incarcerate people, and the better option and the more long-term successful option would be to provide people with access to, like I said, mental health treatment and addiction services on the front end to address the root causes of crime in our community and to keep our community safe. On the front end, instead of relying on jail to somehow reform people and then them be, a new person without an addiction problem once they get out.
Now, I know there would be some concern, and I think there's been some concern from law enforcement agents. The concern is, if we focus on less harsh sentences, will that give suspects, people in trouble with the law, will that just give them leeway to keep breaking the law? What would your response to that be?
I think if we're using jails and prisons as they're designed, we're locking people up who actually deserve to be there. So nobody's saying that we should be soft on crime. What we're saying is we should think about it differently, because there are people who have low-level drug offenses or other charges that wouldn't ordinarily result in jail time. There are a lot of opportunities to think about how and why people are getting locked up. There's probation. You can do a number of things that are outside of jail where you still have some accountability measures, and those are what we would prefer to see happen.
Yeah, so some of these alternatives, that could be a big change, you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. So in this candidate briefing book, it looks like a lot has gone in there. So has this been a big project for the ACLU?
Yeah, this has been a huge project for us, and really the interest in bringing this Attorney General's race to the forefront of South Dakotans' minds is that a lot of people don't know, first of all, that's an elected position, and a lot of people don't know what power that person holds. In South Dakota, our Attorney General makes lobbying and legislative decisions and chooses how to charge people, sets the tone for the entire criminal justice system in South Dakota. So our vision is that if you got someone into office who thought smart about criminal justice reforms, then you would suddenly see a system that started to change, because we'd be thinking about it from as a larger approach instead of thinking this person did something wrong, obviously they need to be in jail, whereas maybe that person did something wrong and made a mistake and needs some help.
And so it sounds like the hope is that this would be a trickle down, have some momentum that way instead of going at different communities.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So have you sent it out to the candidates yet?
We have. We actually sent it out to all of the candidates before the primaries. So all the candidates under the Democratic ticket and then also under Republican, they all got it.
Have you gotten any feedback from them yet?
We've gotten some great feedback. I think people appreciate that we've enclosed some polling information. So some of the interesting numbers are that 89% of people want to see smart justice reforms implemented, and South Dakota has a really high incarceration rate per capita. I think we're in 8th in the country. So that when you compare it to what our population is, that number is really significant.
So what happens, hypothetically, when we do have, after the election, the candidate or the Attorney General isn't so keen on more lenient sentences, then what's your course of action?
Well, we're not asking for lenient sentences. What we're asking is that some sentences won't require such harsh penalties, and for us to think about it holistically as a whole, giving a lot of credit to the people's circumstances and then other options for reform.
All right. Well, thank you for being on with us and telling us about this. Well, still ahead, we're talking mosquito safety ahead of a busy week outside. Inside KELOLAND, we'll be right back. The 4th of July is just around the corner, but itchy mosquito bites may already be a problem in your neighborhood. Well, this week was National Mosquito Control Awareness Week. Right now, I'm joined by Denise Patton, Health Program Coordinator of the City of Sioux Falls. Nice to have you on with us.
Thanks.
You know what's fun? We talk almost every week in the summer about mosquitoes because there's always something going on.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ever evolving in the City of Sioux Falls. You bet.
Have you been busy?
Very busy. I don't think that's a shock to anybody, right? No, this rain obviously creates all sorts of fun for us. So we can't really work when it's pouring rain, but when it stops, we have 3 times as much to do. So yeah, you just go with the flow.
Well, and then talking about what people can do for themselves, how do people just protect themselves during this time of year?
You know, I think everybody hears these messages often, and, you know, it feels redundant, but it's super important because disease is so prevalent. Wearing some sort of personal protection is absolutely critical. Not only does it protect us against mosquitoes, but it can protect you against bites from ticks and gnats and chiggers and all sorts of other things. So if you're going to be outdoors, wearing some sort of protection is paramount. You know, DEET products are obviously the most popular and supported by the CDC. They last the longest. But, you know, I'm aware that not everybody wants to wear DEET, you know, so there are some natural options. Whatever it is, just read the label, reapply it as you need to, and enjoy the summer. But, you know, keeping standing water and the personal protection and all of that is what's important.
Well, yeah, and you hit on my next question, to DEET or not to DEET. But there are a bunch of just products, like you said, natural products. So really, there are just ways people can find out what works best for them and to protect themselves.
Absolutely. No, whenever you go to the aisle in the store that you're going to that has any sort of insect repellent, you're going to see a ton of things, from oil of lemon eucalyptus, which is very natural. IR 3535 is an ingredient that's very well tested and effective in repellent of insects, but that comes in things even like Skin So Soft. So, you know, there's all of that. The DEET, Cutter products, off products, picaridin, you know, they're all good. Find something that you like and that works.
Are long sleeves, long pants still advised?
They are. Yeah. You know, obviously, if you're wearing something long, those pesky insects can't bite through it, but when it's 95 degrees, I don't know many people that really want to wear the long pants and shirts. So you have to kind of weigh it out, but if you're not going to wear long pants and shirts, wear bug spray.
All right. You had mentioned taking standing water out of our yards. You know, for people who may not know, is that really a huge deal? I mean, is it a lot of water that can make an impact, or just a little puddle that's in your lawn that can make an impact?
Any water. Yeah. Any water that's going to sit there longer than a week will be potential breeding habitat for mosquitoes. It only takes a week. So a mosquito egg will hatch and go through 5 life stages before it emerges and bites. And you know, honestly, just even a teaspoon of water could create that environment. Usually that would dry up, but you know, make sure that if you have water features that there's a flow in them, or you're dumping them out, or you're putting some sort of product in them. And a lot of the things that we use through mosquito control are available at any of the hardware stores. So you can get the exact same thing, just in a smaller scale.
And that's a good collaboration. So do you recommend people do treat their lawns and work in conjunction and complement the things the city is doing?
Absolutely. In fact, we count on it because we can't go onto private property. We're treating all the public areas as best as we can, and we really do count on the fact that people are doing what they can in their own yards. And when we're getting rain every day or every other day, they might have to revisit areas in their yard on a very regular basis to make sure there isn't anything standing, and you're doing what you can.
Well, I think people always want to know about two things, West Nile and now Zika. How are we shaping up mosquito season-wise, and are we getting close to West Nile especially?
You know, West Nile is always going to be an issue in the state of South Dakota. Zika, on the other hand, is not a problem here, but we have to kind of keep our eyes open. Obviously, things can happen, so we want to be aware before anybody else does. That's our job. With regards to West Nile, though, we've seen a blood donor human case and some positive pools of mosquitoes in the state. The predictions that the state of South Dakota are making, you know, they're looking at different models, including weather parameters, historical data, and then those blood donors, etc. And they have kind of escalated our risk this year from kind of a mild to moderate year to a moderate to high year. Obviously, that can change at any point in time, but we're kind of prepping ourselves for that. When we get a lot of rain, we know there's going to be mosquitoes. You know, we'll have to just take it each day.
Always something different,
Always.
isn't it? And so what can people expect for spraying?
You know, the spraying, and I always want to stress that that is just such a small part of our program. Our goal is to get to the water before they come out, but if we can't, we will spray. Those sprays are usually triggered by our trap numbers exceeding certain thresholds that are set, kind of aligning with CDC standards. And when they get too high, either for the high-risk mosquitoes or the ones that bite us a lot, we will spray. So this week we did do an entire citywide spray. We're going into a holiday week, so unfortunately this rain that we have is going to present us with a few mosquitoes next week when we get the sun out for a few days. But we're going to maybe hit a few areas before the 4th of July and then keep plugging away afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of people will be outside, so it's a great time to protect yourselves and, you know, stay covered in bug spray.
I know, it's not fun, but
yeah,
it'll make it
have
better
to
in
do
the
it.
end.
Well, thanks for being on with us.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. Well, fireworks sales are heating up. See what we did there? We're talking safety and sales when Inside KELOLAND continues. Well, you're about to hear these sounds a lot more in the coming days, with less than a week to go before the 4th of July. But those fireworks can be dangerous if you're not careful. KELOLAND's Sophie Heineman shows you how to stay safe during the holiday.
They're fun to watch and bring people together, but fireworks are also dangerous.
When we shoot fireworks, we actually use an old tire, and we put everything in the middle of the old tire, and that way if something would fall over, it catches it.
Owner of Hot Shots Fireworks, Shelly Roddershot, says while fireworks can be dangerous, they don't have to be.
Any injuries that happen would be from misuse, not from use.
And Dr. Hillary Becker, orthopedic hand surgeon with Sanford Health, says it's the misuse that results in serious injuries.
You put more than one firework together and it causes a bigger explosion than you're expecting, and often the big injuries are mixed with alcohol, so people are a little bit impaired when they're lighting them off.
Becker says even sparklers can cause serious burns with temperatures reaching 1,000 degrees.
If you put more than one sparkler together, it can cause an explosion type injury as well. Not all sparklers, but that does happen because it's a lot of power, a lot of heat.
Experts recommend buying wood sparklers instead of metal sparklers as a safer alternative. Roddershot says the metal sparklers are slowly being phased out to cut down on the danger.
The way sparklers are made today, they're now on a wood stick, and so you don't have those hot metal wires, so it's much safer.
If you have leftover fireworks, Roddershot says you can use them as long as they were properly stored.
If you are going to store it in your garage, keep it dry, keep it out of the way of children. But if you keep it dry, it does store well.
If you do get burned, you should ice the wound first and then apply a thin layer of antibiotic ointment and a Band-Aid.
If it's something bigger with an open wound, go ahead and put put a dressing over the top of it and get to the emergency room.
With Healthbeat, I'm Sophie Heineman.
Okay, here's another safety tip. Keep a hose or tub of water nearby to help eliminate the risk of fires or burns. Well, fireworks went on sale this week in South Dakota, and the colorful wrappers of firecrackers and rockets can now be seen on stands throughout the state. Residents and visitors are being reminded, though, that discharging fireworks is illegal in state and federal parks. And as KELOLAND's Al Van Zee reports, it's wise to check on the local laws to find out if fireworks are legal in your communities.
It's fun and it's exciting, especially for kids. But fireworks can be dangerous if they're handled carelessly. We've been getting a lot of rain out here this year, but police, firefighters, and fireworks stand owners say just because things are green, there's no excuse for slacking off on fireworks safety.
Don't use fireworks if you're under the influence of anything. Read the label directions. Nowadays there's explicit label instructions on there. You light the fuse and you get away. You leave it on the ground. You don't hold anything in your hand. It's all pretty much common sense.
In Rapid City and within 1 mile of Rapid City limits, fireworks are prohibited except for some of the smaller scale ones like the sparklers and the snappers.
Rapid City Police say the 4th of July holiday is one of the busiest for the department. Many complaints usually come in, and they're reminding residents and visitors that police are serious about enforcing fireworks safety laws.
You know, we don't want to have to reach the point where we have to go out and confiscate your fireworks, but, you know, if you push it, we will.
And confiscation isn't the only remedy that police might use. The penalties can be stiff.
It is up to $500 and or up to 30 days in jail.
That being said, Mark Lantis at his fireworks stand says traffic so far has been good.
So far it's starting off very well. Yeah, see how it holds.
In Rapid City, Al Van Zee, KELOLAND News.
Fireworks sales in South Dakota are legal until the 5th of July. There are plenty of activities to do on the 4th of July. We're talking about those events when Inside KELOLAND continues. You can celebrate our nation on Wednesday at the Independence Day celebration at Falls Park. This event will feature a free lunch for the first 5,000 people, live music and entertainment, as well as a 5K run, fun run and walk, and a parade down Phillips Avenue. Joining me now is Jackie Nelson and Kathy Buheim from the city's Parks and Recreation Department. I almost got your names switched around.
No worries.
I try. So this is a huge event. Everyone goes to the event for the lunch, the entertainment. Are you surprised at just how many people love to celebrate the 4th of July like this?
It's fantastic. Every year we get a great group along the parade route. One of our biggest years, we had 800 people that came out for the walk run, so we're really excited about it again this year.
It seems like it's fun for the whole family. Do you love seeing people of all ages come down?
Absolutely. We have a bike and wagon decorating class that we do, and then we invite anybody from the public that has their wagons or bikes decorated that they can join us in, and we have this little entourage of bikes and kids that follow the parade down the route, so it's really fun.
Jackie, what do you love about it?
You know, honestly, the same thing, just the overall involvement of the community, how everybody gets involved, from those that sponsor the event and provide goods for the event to those that participate, and even the engagement and the excitement that staff and volunteers bring to it as well each and every year.
Yeah, and to clarify, this is separate from the fireworks, so it's another great event for everyone to come down and check it out. So what do we have on the roster this year?
Well, we're looking at about 70 to 80 parade entries right now, and we welcome anybody that does want to walk up or we will register them on site. So we've got about 500 people that are registered right now for the run, so it'll just be a really great day.
What does it take to put all of this on every year? Because I'm sure people come and they think, oh, this just popped up, but that's not the case.
That's not the case. We have a full entourage of folks that come in and help us with it. Sunshine and Tony's Catering do the cooking for us, and they work hand in hand with us. Smithfield donates the meat for the day. We've got a team of folks that work on the parade route and get people registered. So there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. Prepping the park is probably the biggest factor.
Jackie, how many hours do you think you put in every year working on this?
It's quite a few. From the tiny startup meetings to the final day, it's hundreds of hours, with lots of people involved throughout the community.
Do you both drink coffee, or do you have energy drinks to keep you going?
Absolutely,
we will be, yes.
So getting back to the schedule, why is like the fun run walk, why is that something that brings people out?
You know, it's a great way just to start the day, and I think, like you said, it's a family activity. You can run, you can walk. We've got the strollers out there. We just ask that you don't bring your pets with, just for safety purposes for everyone involved. But it's just a really great atmosphere from all day long. It's a all-day full schedule of activities from 8 o'clock with the run, 10 o'clock is the parade, and 11 o'clock we have entertainment by the municipal band, the food starts, and then we cap it off with Mogan's Heroes. So it's a great, great day.
Well, with those two musical offerings, I mean, do people turn up just for that? Because those are two big performers.
Absolutely. Everything that we have as far as the municipal band that day is patriotic, and then Mogan's Heroes has a draw of their own every year. We do have people that come down to the park just for Mogan's Heroes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're a big draw. Jackie, with everything, I mean, it's easy for everyone to be so divided all year round. Is this an event that just brings people together who want to have fun and celebrate our nation?
It absolutely does. You know, I think a lot of it, as Kathy mentioned, it's about getting out on the trails, enjoying the day with your family, making those memories that are going to last a lifetime. So starting early, then progressing to the parade, being involved in the parade, and then, you know, just going through the food line for the food and that follow-up music and entertainment and, you know, just the joy of the overall celebration.
The food is certainly a big draw. I've seen people waiting in line for that. You know, do people have an appreciation just to get a free meal too?
They do. You know, we work with, like I said, Sunshine and Tony's Catering, but we really get those people through those lines very quickly.
Yeah, you do.
So we have worked with them for many years, and Tony's has a reputation of feeding people very quickly. So those 4,000 or 5,000 people that we have, we can typically get everybody through the line in 20 to 30 minutes.
The last thing I can think of, tell me, what does it feel like when you've done all this hard work and you see people come out and enjoy it and everything goes off well? How does that make you feel?
I absolutely love it. I do a lot of the pictures and things for the activities. My favorite are the kids that are sitting on the curb and just, you can see the excitement in their faces. And they have the bubbles and they'll dress up. They might be wearing their festive red, white, and blue for the day. And that's my favorite part, is the kids and the excitement that they bring to it.
And what about yours?
For me, it's the overall family factor of it, being with your family, sharing those memories, you know, hopefully doing things throughout the day that are going to last you a lifetime, not being on your cell phones, not being on the social media, but actually being out in the parks, enjoying nature and enjoying your surroundings.
Well, very nice, and thank you for putting this on, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Well, you can find out more about today's topics online at KELOLAND.com, including the ACLU report and more event listings for the 4th of July. Just click on the Inside KELOLAND section. Hey, please join us every Sunday following the 10 o'clock news right here on KELO TV. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us again next week for more on what's going on inside KELOLAND. Be kind to each other and have a great night.